How are you students? I hope you all are doing well, and we are almost at the end of the chapter, that is electricity. We have almost completed all the topics of this chapter, and today we are going to take some numerical that will help you to understand some concepts. And before we start the numerical, we will have some discussion related with the ammeter and voltmeter, means how are they connected in the circuit and why so. So let's start the class today. So in one of the classes we have understood that ammeter is a device which records the current in a circuit. Okay, so in general the symbol for the ammeter is capital A with plus and minus sign. Plus is positive terminal of the device and negative terminal is minus. And we have understood somewhere that the ammeter has to be connected in series with the circuit. So if we have a circuit with resistor R, then with R we should connect the ammeter in series with the circuit, and then let the battery be of volt V. So these are the things we have. The ammeter is connected in series with the resistor R, and the potential difference by the battery is V. So the very first thing is why it should be connected in series. So it connected in series, that we should know, but why, that we are going to understand today. So it's connected in series. So now we understood, if the resistors or the different appliances are connected in series, then only the current will remain same. So the current passing through the ammeter and current passing through the resistor will be same only if the ammeter and resistor, they are connected in series. So it is understood, if the current flowing through the circuit is I, the current flowing through resistor R is I, then it can be I in the ammeter also only if it is connected in the series. So when the different appliances are connected in the series, then only the current will remain same. And the requirement of the ammeter is just to have the record of the current flowing in a circuit. So once we connect the ammeter in the series with the circuit, it will record the same current that is flowing through the R. That is one thing, why it should be connected in series. Okay, second thing is, even this device will have some internal resistance. So let internal resistance be R of this device, and somewhere we understood that this internal resistance should be approximately 0. That is the two things we have understood. It should be connected in the series, and second, its internal resistance should be approximately 0. Then why, need to understand now. So it is understood, if the ammeter and resistor, they are connected in the series, then total resistance in the circuit will be how much? R equivalent, Re will be small r plus capital R. That is, we know in series combination the resistance get added. So if this resistance of the device ammeter will be high, what will happen? The equivalent resistance will also go high. Yes or no? Means overall resistance of the circuit will be affected because of the ammeter. And from Ohm's law we know I is inversely proportional to R equivalent. Means more will be the value of resistance in the circuit, less will be the current. So more resistance, less current. And it is understood, once the ammeter is connected in the series, the resistance will go high. If the internal resistance is high, then overall current will drop. So whatever current that will flow in the circuit will be less. Okay, and that we don't need. We want just to record the current that is flowing in the circuit without disturbing the circuit. So it is only possible if the internal resistance should be 0 or approximately 0. So we know if R will be approximately 0, then total resistance will be approximately R only. That is, this will become 0. So whatever current that will be there in the circuit will be nothing but V upon R only. So in this case, the current flowing through the circuit will be I, and that will not be affected by the internal resistance of the ammeter. So that is one thing that we should know. Ammeter has to be connected in the series so that same current can flow through the device that is flowing through the other component, and it can show the current in the circuit. Second, it should have very low internal resistance, approximately 0, so that overall resistance of the circuit should not be affected, and hence the current should not be affected, and then whatever current will be recorded by the ammeter will be the real current. So that is one thing we should know and we understood here. So I hope this concept is clear. And then we have the next device, that is called voltmeter. So voltmeter we understood somewhere in one of the classes. It is a device which measures the potential drop across any device in a circuit. So the symbol of this voltmeter is capital V with symbol plus and minus. It has also positive and negative terminal, and we understood somewhere that it has to be connected in parallel with the circuit. So if we have to record how much is the potential difference across R, then across R the voltmeter must be connected parallel. So take an example, we have a circuit of voltage V, okay, and current flowing through the circuit is I. Let this point be X and Y. So that is how we connect the voltmeter parallel with the resistor. So we are trying to find out how much is the potential drop across resistor R. So let this be given the name VR. Okay, so that is to be calculated. So I hope the circuit diagram is clear. So one thing you know, if you see point X and point Y, if you move from X to Y, basically you are moving from high to low potential, because positive side is high potential, negative side is low potential. So if you see the diagram, if Vx is the potential at point X and Vy is the potential at Y, then it is understood Vx will be greater than Vy, because we are moving from high to low potential, and the difference between the two will be nothing but the potential drop across resistor R. So that is we have. So the voltmeter can calculate this potential difference only if one of the terminal of the voltmeter is at high potential, that is one of the terminal of the resistor, that is point X, and the other terminal of the voltmeter is at the low potential, that is the next terminal of the resistor. That's why it has to be connected in parallel. So the first thing we know, connected in parallel, then only it can find out the potential drop, that is potential difference between high and low points. Okay, next let's talk about internal resistance. So even this device will have some internal resistance R. Let's talk about this. And somewhere we discussed that is this internal resistance should be almost infinity, that is very high. Okay, now why we need to understand here. So since the voltmeter and the resistor, they are connected in the parallel, so we know the current will get distributed here. So at point X the current will get distributed. Now we don't need this Vx and Vy. So let the current flowing through voltmeter is I1 and current flowing through resistor is I2. So it is understood I1 plus I2 will be equal to I. Now here we have connected voltmeter so that it can just measure the potential drop between X and Y. That will be given as VR is equal to R into I2, because current flowing through a resistor is I2 and the resistor value is R. So it is understood I2 will be less than I. Yes or no? Because if some current will flow through the voltmeter, then the current flowing through a resistor will drop, and that we don't want. Okay, so when the voltmeter is connected, we want that maximum current should flow through the resistor, or the entire current should flow through the resistor, and the current flowing through the voltmeter should be 0. approximately. Otherwise, what will happen? The current passing through the resistor will also get affected. That will not be equal to the real value of the current, and hence it is only possible if the resistance of the voltmeter will go very high, because we know that I is inversely proportional to R. So we understood, if the resistance will be approximately infinity, that is the internal resistance of the voltmeter is infinity, then the current passing through voltmeter I1 will be V upon infinity, how much? 0. I hope you understood. This is just from the Ohm's law. I is equal to V upon small r. Small r we have taken almost infinity, and we know when something is divided by infinity it becomes 0. So I1 will be 0 only if the resistance of this voltmeter will be infinity. Am I clear? So in general, in this case, I2 will be approximately equal to I, means the current passing through the resistor will be same as the current in the circuit. So overall, whatever potential drop will take place across R will be calculated by the voltmeter. So the concept is, when voltmeter is to be connected in the circuit, it must be in parallel. Why? We understood, so that it can show the potential drop between X and Y. Okay. Second, since it is connected in parallel, then current will get distributed, and we know the current distribution takes place depending upon the resistance that we have. So very high resistance, less current. So if you make the resistance of this voltmeter infinity, then the current passing through the voltmeter will be approximately 0. So the entire current will pass through the resistor R, and hence the actual value, that is VR, will become what? VR will be equal to IR only. Am I clear? So that is what we need in the circuit. That is, the voltmeter should just record the voltage drop and should not disturb the current passing through the resistor. So since the ammeter is connected in the series, voltmeter is in parallel, so accordingly the resistance of the voltmeter and the ammeter are not same. One is having very high, that is voltmeter, one is very low, that is ammeter. So I hope you can differentiate the two cases, the voltmeter and ammeter, how they are different from each other, and how they should be connected in the circuit and why so. Okay, so more about this voltmeter and ammeter, how are they made, that we will do in class 12. So that is not we are going to discuss in class 10. Now we are going for some numerical, which are also very important for you, and then this chapter is over in all the way. So very first numerical is the power of a bulb is 24 watt when it is operated at 12 volt battery. Calculate its power when it operates at 6 volt battery. So the concept is, even the power of a bulb or any device will change with the change in the power supply, because we know when you talk about the rating of any device that we discussed in the previous class, it is written like 100 watt to 20 volt. So the device will have the power of 100 watt when the power supply is 220. So if the power supply will increase or decrease, then the power will also get affected. So based on this we have the concept, and the question is given to you, that is the power of bulb P1 rated B is 24 watt, but it is when the power supply is 12 volt. Okay, so if the power supply, that is V2, becomes 6 volt, what will be the new power that is to be calculated? So the concept is, if you connect the bulb, for example, with how much? 12 volt, and then you connect the same bulb with 6 volt. Voltage will change, power will change, but something will remain constant, and that is internal resistance. Because the filament of the bulb has the resistance that will not change with the change in the circuit or change in the power supply. So that is to be taken care. The internal resistance of the bulb remains same in the case, and that is to be calculated very first. So we will try to very first calculate how much is the internal resistance of the bulb, and we will apply the same resistance in the second case, and we will get the answer. So we know P is equal to V square upon R. So we are trying to find the internal resistance. Let it be small r. Am I clear? So P1 will become V1 square upon R. So R will be V1 square upon P1, and V1 is how much? 12 square, that is 12 into 12. Power is how much? 24. So this is coming how much? 6. So the internal resistance of the bulb is 6 ohm. Now that will not change. So in the case 2, again we have P2 is equal to V2 square upon R. So the power that is to be calculated now, V2 is given to us 6 volt, R we have calculated, that will not change. So overall putting the value, V2 is how much? 6 volt. So 6 into 6, and the resistance we have calculated 6. 6 will get cancelled, 6 volt. So I hope you understood here. So it is understood when the power supply is 12, power is 24, and if the power supply becomes 6 volt, the power is also getting 6 volt. That is how with the change in the power supply, the power of the device will also change. So I hope you understood. Let's go for the second numerical. Okay, so number 2, a circuit diagram is given here. Okay, the value of this resistor is 6 ohm, and the value of this is R, which is not known to us, and this is connected with the ammeter and a power supply of unknown voltage. So we don't know how much is the current, we don't know how much is the power supply, but one thing is given here, that is potential drop across this, and potential drop across this is given. So across 6 ohm the potential drop is 6 volt, and across R the potential drop is 6 volt. So across 6 ohm 12 volt, across R 6 volt, potential drop is given, and based on this we have to find out, that is first, what is the value of R, second, the reading of ammeter. So reading of 8 we can say, that is ammeter, and third one, the power supply of the battery. So 3 things we have to calculate. So I don't think it's so difficult, but still this is just based on the application of the Ohm's law. So let's see very first this one, 6 ohm resistor. So let this be R1. So R1 is given to us how much? 6 ohm, and this let it be V1. V1 is given how much? 12 volt. So based on this R and V, we can find out the current passing through 6 ohm, and you know this two are connected in series, 6 ohm and R, which is unknown to us. So if we can find out how much current is passing through this, the same current will pass through R also. Why? Because they are connected in series. So very first, let's take the current I is passing through the circuit. Okay, so from this we can find out I will be V1 upon R1, that is how much? 12 volt upon 6, that is 2 ampere. So we understood the current passing through the circuit is 2 ampere. Am I clear? So it is understood the ammeter reading is done. So second part is done. That is the reading of the ammeter, 2 ampere current will be shown by the ammeter. Now let's go for 1. So it doesn't matter if you change the sequence, okay? Now for this R we don't know, but potential drop let it be V2, how much? That is 6 volt, and I we also understood how much? 2 ampere. So I we know voltage drop you know, so resistance we can calculate, that is R is equal to V2 upon I, that is 6 upon 2, 3 ohm. I hope you understood. So if the voltage drop is 6 volt, current is 2, so 6 by 2, 3 ohm. So we got the value of R also. I hope it is clear. And number 3, we know if in a series combination the potential drop, that is sum of the potential drop across each resistor, will be equal to the total potential of the or the voltage of the battery. So we know V will be equal to V1 plus V2. So we will not go for any long calculation for it, because V1 is given how much, 12 volt, and V2 is given 6. So 12 plus 6, 18 volt. So you can verify also, that is total current passing through it 18 upon 18 by total resistance will be how much, 6 plus 3, 9. So that is same. So that is how we can verify, but not so important, not required here. So I hope this part is also clear. So that is just the application of the Ohm's law, nothing else. Let's go for number 3rd, numerical, quickly. So it is given there are 3 different resistors, R, and R. All are having same value, and there is a connection of wire, that is a wire is connected between these 2 points. Okay, let this point be A and the B, last point, and let this be X and Y. Okay, this is one connection shown, and another connection is shown here between this and the last one. Okay, so let this point be P and Q. So this is the circuit diagram given to you, and you have to find out R or resistance equivalent resistance, that is RE between A and B. So between A and B, how much is the total resistance? So we know easily we can't say they are in series or in parallel, it's very complicated. So when we see some wire is getting connected from one to other end, so there is a cross connections, and when we have a cross connection, there is a rule to solve this kind of numerical and circuit. So what we can do, let's number this point. Let this point is at some potential 1. Let it be a potential. Okay. Now the concept is, if you connect a wire, simple wire, that is almost no resistance, if you connect the wire from 1 to some point Y, then because of this wire, this Y point will also come at the same potential. So if at a particular point potential is 1, it can be 1 volt, 2 volt, 3 volt, but I am giving the number 1. And if you connect the wire, single wire, to some other point, then that point will also come at the same potential. So that is the concept you have to understand here. So this X and Y, they are at the same potential. Okay. Now let's see this point P. Let this point P is at potential 2. That can be some other voltage, and this is connecting the another terminal, that is 2 here. So you understood, this wire is coming here at Q. So P and Q will also be at the same potential. X and Y will be at the same potential, 1 and 1, 2 and 2. Yes or no? Now you see, for this resistor R, one terminal is at 1 and another terminal is 2. For second resistor R, one terminal is at 1, another terminal at 2, and for third resistor R, one terminal at 1 and second at 2. So you understood, first resistor R is having potential 1 and 2. For second resistor R also, we have one terminal at 1, another terminal at 2. 2 and 1, and for third also 1 at 1 and second at 2. So we understood each registers that we have, one terminal of each is at same potential 1 and second terminal of each are at the same potential 2. So we understood they are nothing but connected in parallel. So I hope this is point A and this is point B. So the concept is these three resistors are basically in parallel, but they look like they are in the series. So that is how this circuit is totally different. I am repeating again. If you see direct wire connecting between 2 or 3 resistors, then the points will come at the same potential. So you can number 1 and 1 and number 2 and 2, and then you have to see for each resistor how much is the potential. 1, 2, 1, 2, they are coming same, they must be in the series. And rest we know. R equivalent will be what? R by 3. So if the value of R is known to us, we can find out. If it is not known, just remember this concept. So I hope this part is also clear. Okay, so we are going for the next one. So this type of circuit is also very important in class 10, and it looks so complicated but not so. We are going for the next one, number 4. This is also based on the circuit. So there is one resistor and then 2 different resistors in parallel. So this is how the circuit diagram is given. Okay, the value of each resistor is 2 ohm. 2 ohm, 2 ohm. Okay, this is one thing given. And second thing is given is each resistor can have or can withstand maximum power of 18 watt. Find maximum current that should flow through them. So I hope you can read out. I am repeating again. So there are 3 different resistors, each value 2 ohm, and it is given that maximum power that can be tolerated. Power means when the current will flow through them, the heat is produced. And even heat and energy, they are same thing. So if you divide the heat by time or power energy by time, what we get? Power. So with the increase in the heat, power will increase, we can say, and after certain limit the resistor can get damaged. So the power is having maximum 18 watt, means more than 18 watt cannot be tolerated by any of the resistor. So what should be the maximum current that should flow through all the 3, so that the power will not exceed the 18 watt. So for this we have to see one thing, that since they are having a combination of the resistor, we have to apply all the concepts together. So very first, for this, let be resistor R1, R2 and R3. Let the current passing through R1 is I. So we know since they are in parallel, now this current will get distributed. So let the current is I1 and I2. So current is I in the main resistor R1. Now it will get distributed I1 and I2. That is I1 plus I2 must be equal to I. So first of all, let's find out how much is the current that can maximum flow through the R1. So we can write down P, we know P is equal to I square R, that we know. So let this P is given, let be I and this be R1. Okay, so we can find out I square will be P upon R1. That is how much? Power is maximum 18 and resistor R1 is 2, that is 18 by 2 is 9. So we can say I is under root 9, that is 3 ampere. So the maximum current that should flow through R1 is 3 ampere. Means if the current will exceed 3 ampere, this resistor R1 will get damaged. Now say this will get distributed here. So it is understood the current passing through I1 and I2 will be less than 3 ampere. Yes or no? Because based on the circuit concept, we know the current will get distributed. So one thing we know, I is nothing but V upon R, and since they are in parallel, so both will have same potential difference, and resistor is also same. So it is understood I1 should be equal to I2, that should be equal to V upon R. So whatever potential difference we have between these 2 points, and the value of resistor will decide how much is the current. So since the value of R1 and R2 are same, so current passing through I1 and I2 must be same. So we can say overall I1, I2 will be nothing but half of main current, because this I will get distributed equally. Equally means I by 2. The current will get divided half and half. So the main current is 3 ampere. So the current I1 and I2 will be just I by 2, and that is nothing but 3 by 2, that is 1.5 ampere. So it is understood the maximum current that can flow through R1 is 3 ampere, through R2 and R3 should be 1.5 and 1.5. Okay. So even if the current will go beyond 1.5, this will not get damaged. But if the current will go beyond 1.5 for R2 and R3, then the current for R1 will go beyond 3. Then this will get damaged. So we have to take care of all the resistors which are connected. So I hope you also understood. That is how the power concept can be utilized in the calculation of the unknown thing and the current also. So I hope this much is understood. So for today is done. The only thing is there is no limitation of the numerical in physics in class 10th also, and we have limitation of the time. So the only thing is you need to practice yourself maximum from different books or the internet, and I'm always there to help you in the numerical, because that is how we have to go through the class 10th. So you start practicing based on the power, based on the heat, and wherever you find problem, let me know, I'll help you. Okay, not to worry. So this chapter is completed today, and I hope you understood lots of concept in this chapter, and very soon in the next class we are going to start with the next chapter, that is magnetic effect of the electric current. So I hope you will be finding interest there also. So just take care, be at home, and Hari Om. Thank you.